Okay. Go.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to From Paranormal to Normal. Today, I have a special guest in my own home, actually, Linda Nyborg, a friend of mine.
Hi.
Hello. Today, we are going to talk about the law of attraction. I guess that most people have already heard of it, but I wonder how many of you that have been actually trying to trust the law of attraction and really work hard with it if they're getting terminally ill. Linda here, she has been doing this for almost, how many years? 27 years?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So it's 27 years ago since you was getting the diagnosis of cancer. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was 26 at the time. Going to the hospital, finding out that I was very sick. The doctors told me most likely I had cancer, but they were not sure. After a week, I was finally diagnosed with cancer, and they said it was really serious because it was very seldom, or how do you say it? It was a rare type of cancer. It was ovarian cancer, but they haven't seen that type before. So I started treatment. I had 2 surgeries, removing my ovaries, removing cancer that they found. 2 weeks later, I was sent to a bigger hospital in Norway where they removed my uterus and the other ovary on my left side. They tried chemotherapy maybe 3 or 4 times before they told me that it wasn't working. It was not giving the results that they hoped for. At the time, I had met somebody in Denmark who was really, really good at being intuitive and being able to feel other people's pain in a way. I'm not sure how to explain this in English, but I'm going to give it a good try. Trying to get to know this lady, she told me a couple of things about me. She never met me before, and the first time she meets me, she starts telling me about who I am, who I was when I was a teenager, who I was growing up, and why I had cancer. And I was in shock. I was. But still, I was thinking, if she is able to do this, she might be the right person to help me. And being that the doctors were about to give up, I could feel that I wanted to be able to play and be more playful and more intuitive like she did. That was the beginning. That was my start.
But, since you wanted to try something different than the chemo, did the family or the people around you react in a bad way, or did they try to get you to go back to just the chemo? Or
I think I come from a large family, and normally my family will try to convince me to do things in a certain way. But for whatever reason, this time they didn't. It's like they could tell that something has changed in me, because I kind of knew that since the doctors were giving up on me, it all depended on me and this woman that could teach me some new stuff.
Yeah. So what did you start with?
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
What did you start with?
Coming to her clinic, she had a clinic in Denmark, and there was a lot of people from all over the world that could come to her place, no matter what, if it was cancer or a broken leg or just a low or weak immune system, they would come to her and she could share her knowledge. And what she was doing, she's dead. Now she's dead. She died in 2008, I think. But at the time, what she was trying to teach people was to open up in a different way, from inside out. Instead of solving your problems with medicine from the outside, taking it to fix the problem, she said that there's another way. And we were there like all day. It's like you go and you have this treatment, and she talks about your emotions, and especially the negative emotions behind the disease. That's how she explains it.
I guess that if you have been a lot of people, they know the work of the Japanese Emoto with water, and if you are filling this, he has been filling these jars with rice, for example, and he has been putting bad words with negativity on them or good words on other jars. And they can see how that works. On one of the rices, they are actually getting rotten, while the other one is just keeping good. And since our body contains most water, so I guess that most of our negative thoughts, it will build up and build up over the years. So our body will be like a rotten container too. So cancer can be a very good result of that.
I believe what you're saying. I believe you could kind of turn it around and really try to understand how you can change from within, how you can see things differently, how you can feel differently, how your thoughts are going to change when you start feeling differently about yourself, about your body, about your disease. Then something will happen. The psychological part, it all starts with the emotions and the psychological part. And that will, how do I say this? That will change the physics. How do you say it? Yeah. In your body. So, and I got proof pretty early on because we were taking blood tests at my doctor's. Since they've been giving up, I went to see my regular doctor, and he kept taking blood tests to keep an eye on what was going on since they've been giving up on me. And 6 months later, after they gave up on the best hospital in Norway for cancer, 6 months later, all my blood tests, all the blood work was perfect. And that was exciting. To me, that was telling me that I was doing something right. I didn't understand it all in the beginning, but whatever she was doing felt good. It felt almost normal from the beginning. And I saw all these people coming to see her, and they were getting better, and they were changing, and they were getting happier and more solid in their thinking and the way they were trying their very best to heal from within. It's not easy, but it's very exciting.
Yeah. So what did you do after those 6 months then? Did you just continue the thing, or did you try to find a new way of practicing the law of attraction? Becoming even better with yourself?
Yeah. I need to take some clothes off because it's pretty hot with the lamps.
Or in the spotlight.
I continued doing what she taught me to do because to me it became a lifestyle. And also just imagine being so sick 6 months before then all the doctors gave up, and then all of a sudden you have changed by doing what she was capable of teaching me, by taking it seriously, by little believing in it, understanding more and more how it all fits together.
Yeah.
And also, I remember pretty early on that when she talked about my childhood and my teenagers, then I was thinking, if she knows all this just by being close to me, by being intuitive, and she could help me with such a serious illness, just imagine what I can do if I take it seriously and keep working on it. So I got more and more curious, and I got more and more into little stuff that I never cared about before. It all changed. It all changed. The way I looked at myself, but also other people, and the way we interact.
I guess that you were looking at nature and everything else in a different way too.
Yeah. Animals, the weather, everything. She made me curious about everything. Everything. It's like you totally change your view, and where you stand and where you're going. And I saw so many possibilities. It was so exciting. I was like, I couldn't hold myself. I came back to Norway, and I was so afraid to be this crazy person that wanted to knock on people's doors and say, if you have a baby that has a rash and the doctor told you it's nothing to do, don't give up, because there is always a way. There's always a way. But it's hard work. It's hard work. And some people still, now after almost 27 years, I see that a lot of people choose medicine. as the first.
That's the easy way out.
Yeah.
And I think that is just taking the sickness away for a little while, but most of the time it will come back because your inner body, it hasn't healed. So that's why it will regenerate the sickness again and again and again.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're going to be truly healthy and back to normal again, you actually have to really do the hard work on yourself on every deep levels. I think it's sad that most people they are so afraid to look at themselves. They prefer to look outside, find the problems from outside, or blame everyone else instead of looking at themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that if you have experienced something bad in the past and looking at yourself, of course it is a little painful, but that old thing is a past memory and it can't get back to you and haunt you or kill you or destroy you in any way. It can destroy you on a physical way when you're not dealing with it. So I think it's very important that you go down on every level and really work on yourself and all the emotions and how you are looking at things and opening up for what a miracle life actually is. And I think that most of the time people really need to be really sick to actually see what wonderful life it is.
That's true. I feel like when I got to, I was only 26 and I wasn't even thinking about anything serious in my life, to be honest. But then when it happens, that is that one time in life where I really, really got aware that I wanted to live. I had so many things that I want to see, so many things that I wanted to do and to experience. So my motivation was as strong as it's never been before because it's really serious. It's like, it's really a wake-up call. And so many people who's been in an accident or cancer or a serious disease, they pretty much say the same thing. It's a wake-up call.
Or less, or you have those people that are just lying down and feeling sorry for themselves and okay, we give up. And of course, they will die very soon.
I think for me, it was never a choice because something happened inside of me when the doctors told me I got cancer. It was like I remember I asked the doctor, so what is my part of this? What can I do to get better? Because in the beginning, I was using chemotherapy and surgery myself. I didn't know anything about other ways. But then when he answered me, I don't remember it exactly. It's 27 years ago. But it was kind of like he said, now your life is in my hands. I'm the doctor. I'm going to take care of you. And when he said that woke me up because I was like, no. Because who has the best interest in me changing things and getting better? If he has a bad day at work, I'm screwed pretty much. So I was thinking, this is me. This is all about me. It kind of popped into my head like that. And after that, I was never afraid of the cancer. I knew that cancer was going to teach me something that I needed badly. I really, really could feel it.
I think that was a good thing that you're getting rid of the fear. Because most people, they are getting feared because they just need to hear the word cancer. Then they are getting terrified. Lay down, and then you are in the doctor's hands, and they can do whatever they want with you because you are trusting them fully. And I think it's so sad because I'm hearing so many times if the doctor says that you have, let's say you have 2 months or 6 months to live, and the words of the doctor, they are so powerful that most people, they are accepting it. They are, my tongue is accepting it. Yes.
There we go.
So many people that actually dies when it comes to that time instead of fighting. Because they're putting their lives in the doctors and medical treatment's hands instead of fighting themselves. So
After my first when I got back on my feet, started working again. I moved to the United States. I got married in Denver. I think I was married for a year when I could feel that something was wrong. And when I say I could feel it, it was more like I didn't have any pain. I was still at a pretty good energy level, doing my job and everything. but I could feel that my thinking was shifting. I could feel I was getting more negative in the way I handled and solved my problems. It was getting harder for me just being Linda, being happy, being lively. So I told my husband one day, I'm going to go and see a doctor because I think the cancer is back. And he said, no, you're doing just fine. And all my friends said, no, you're looking great and you're still out running with your dog and everything. And I knew. So I went to see my doctor and she said the same thing. You look just great. Everything's fine, but you're just panicking a little bit. So we're going to have some tests taken and see what happens. Well, 3 weeks later, it turns out that my cancer was back. And it was even worse this time because they have like a blood test they take that has like a score. I don't know how to explain. I don't remember the numbers, but the numbers were crazy high because she said you're a ticking bomb. And she suggested surgery at that time. And I said, okay, so if I do have a surgery, because they found 5 tumors this time in my abdomen. And I said, so after surgery, then what? Do you have chemotherapy? She said, no. I said, then what? She said, well, we just hope we're kind of buying you a little time here. I said, I don't want it. I'm going back to Denmark to see the treatment, go back and do what I did before, because I was hoping that this lady, Ellen, that she could tell me what I needed to learn this time.
So you didn't like any kind of surgery, anything?
No. To me, it didn't feel like it was necessary. And also it felt like I know how sick I was after surgery, how weak I was, how skinny I got, feeling lousy. And I was thinking, I don't want to go back to that. I want to go back to Denmark. She could tell me again if there are some habits that I'm getting back to mentally and emotionally, because we don't fix it like that. It's an ongoing process. And I think I was getting more into the daily life of being married and going to work and going out with friends and kind of
getting more focused on the outside. You're forgetting your inner self. It's so easy to lose yourself in the daily life.
It is, because you gotta go to work, you gotta see your friends, you feel happy as long as you're not in pain, you feel like you're healthy. But after a while I just knew something was wrong. And when I knew that, and when the blood work shows that I was right, most people would get scared thinking, oh my God, I got cancer again. I was so proud that I could feel it. I was so proud and so excited.
Maybe you had an inner feeling that
yeah. And I was like, I can really trust this system. That was, to me, was amazing. So I wasn't unhappy. I wasn't scared. I was just rolling up my sleeves, getting ready to work again. It was really amazing. So I went to Denmark again and talked to her. I was there in treatment for 3 weeks, and you do the whole day. You kind of sit in treatment from 9 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's like having 10 psychiatrists inside, picking your brain and your heart and your everything, trying to figure out where you are and what we need to change for you to get back on track on this road that leads you to being healthy again. It's like you're on a, what do you call it? Like a detour or something? Like, here goes your healthy life, and all of a sudden we kind of take this little path. Yeah. And you need to turn around and come back because you know how to be healthy. You know it. You just forget it sometimes.
Yeah. I guess most people, they are not following it here. They are actually out here all the time. So
that's what it feels like. So I came and stayed with her for 2 weeks and went to my hometown in Norway after Denmark. And I asked them to do another CAT scan, and they found 2 tumors. 3 of them were gone after 2 weeks in treatment. And that to me was exciting too. My doctor was excited. He's like, I have no clue what you're doing, but keep doing it because that works for you. And that's a pretty good doctor for me. And that was in 99. The first round was in 92. Then it came back in 96. And then I worked as hard as I could for like a year or two, going back and forth between the States and Denmark. And my marriage ended because I needed to be where I could find my treatment, because this is the kind of treatment where I don't know anybody else who's doing it. She's using the crazy part about the treatment is that she's using remedies. She places it on your body, on your organs. If she could feel, I'm just trying to give some examples. She will kind of be verbal, very, very verbal about what she could feel is going on with me. Like if I have anger, if my anger level is high, then and I couldn't feel it because I always suppressed my anger. I was raised that way. So I didn't even think I was angry. And she will say, I can feel your anger. You need to do something about your anger because you're burning up inside. And I was going, I don't know what you're talking about. She said, I know. Just relax. Sit down. I'll give you some stuff. You get some remedies on. And in a day or two, you will come and tell me, now I know what you're talking about. Because she said, you're so good at suppressing it, hiding it, putting a lid on it, that right now you can't recognize it.
I think that this is a culture. It's a way of living from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think that everyone in every healthy house should have a boxing sack. Is that what a boxing bag that can really go and smash every time you're getting angry instead of depressing them down?
Find a way, find whatever works. And she was using these remedies, and for anger or insecurity or angst, she would use like a rock or some salt, and I was sitting there going like, okay, this is going to help. This is for cancer. This salt is for cancer. In the beginning, I was like, I can't believe it. But then again, she came with this box and she put some salt on my bladder. She put some rocks on my pancreas, maybe.
Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe perhaps.
I don't know.
She would put it on, and we would just sit with that, and she would say, can't you feel that you're getting more relaxed? And I was going, no. But then after a while, you can feel it. Something is shifting in your energy. You feel like you've been filled up with something that doesn't feel something that doesn't feel right. It feels like it's draining you. And all of a sudden you get your energy back, and you don't know where it's coming from, but it just feels right. It feels good. I went to see my doctor. My blood works were better. And I just kept doing it because it works. When it works, it works. I didn't discuss it too much. I asked questions because I was curious, but I didn't fight her. She was always right. It was irritating. She was always right. I ended up asking a lot of questions, and there was another man coming in, and he asked questions, and then she goes, "Oh, you're even worse than Linda. Shut up."
That's not possible.
So she called it. She asked me, "Do you want to learn how to play yourself out of cancer?" And I said, "Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds so much better than chemotherapy and surgery, and having the doctor says there's nothing more we can do." So I kept doing it.
And playing yourself out of cancer. That's from most people that are hearing the words that they have got cancer, and I think that if the doctor would say that let's play her out of it, I think that most people would be, what are you talking about? So can you tell us a little bit about how do you play yourself out of cancer?
She was good at teaching me or making me understand, helping me understand that if I was focused on what was good in life, what has true value to me, then like if you want to see a movie, pick a funny movie. Don't go and look at all the scary movies and all the disgust, which I never liked anyway. She says, as long as you're doing fun stuff, you can feel that it feels like medicine. It feels like good medicine to your body. It feels healthy what you're doing. If you want to work out in a way that makes you really want to work out because it feels fun, not because you have to work out to look good. She said, forget about looking good. Focus on having fun. Focus on having fun. Find all the fun movies. Find all the fun people. Say funny things. Talk about funny things. She was like, that keeps your mood up. And when that happens, it becomes a good habit. We are trying to release and get rid of the bad habits that cause the disease. Now we're trying to fill you, your mind, your heart, your body, your energy with good experience and new tracks in a way.
Yeah. And like I was just mentioning the Emotos jars. Like you are refilling your jars with positive emotions. Rebuilding it.
Yeah. Good. Okay. This clinic was in Denmark. You're talking, it's the Danish clinic? Yeah. This clinic was in Denmark, in a little town called outside Herning. The clinic is, this clinic is shut down after she died. It's shut down. But there are some people that kind of took over her practice. And they live in a little place outside Vejle in Denmark. And they're still having, I'm not going there these days. I haven't been there since the last time I was diagnosed again in 2009. But they're still working with energies, trying to find what's causing the disease from within. And it's kind of in Norway when you say that, I don't know, maybe the people in the US are more accustomed to it. But in Norway, there are so many people, they get really frustrated when you say you have to work from within because they're feeling, they feel like I blame them. And I'm not talking about blaming anybody. I'm talking about responsibility. I'm talking about really understanding that it comes from whatever I've done or haven't done. I have done some things that wasn't good for me. And then there are some things that I ignored that I should, like being more creative. I haven't spent all the time being as creative as I want to be. And she was pushing that. And the clinic that is in Denmark these days, they have started to use new methods in addition to what we were doing. But still, like if we sit and talk like this, when you have a conversation that makes sense, that everybody can just feel it, it makes sense. It's kind of, it's giving you something, it's giving me something. It's important. Ellen always said that our pain, our physical pain, is everything that we haven't expressed. We're not aware of what's causing it. So she said it's so important to have these good, honest conversations where you can kind of shut up a little bit in your daily life, go and sit down and just relax, let go, breathe and let go, and ask some questions to yourself. Because if I want to get to know somebody, then I will ask you, how old are you? Where do you work? And what do you like? What are your dislikes? We spend a lot of time trying to get to know other people. If we like them, we really want to know them. We don't spend half that time doing that to ourselves because we do believe we know ourselves. We don't.
Well, most people, they don't know themselves at all.
Yeah. So it's all that time she was teaching me to spend in solitude, where you just relax and nothing happens. Go and lay on the sofa and ask yourself, how am I doing? In the beginning, I had no clue what was the right answer. And she said, like, forget about the answer. Just feel. What can you feel in your body? And when I did it over and over, all of a sudden I started crying. And I got really, wow, why am I crying? I'm not unhappy. I'm not sad. What? From deep within, I was in touch with the feeling that I have previously refused to let bob to the surface. It was like I didn't want to look at it. And then when I started doing this, then I realized who I was. Then I realized I wasn't my mother, I wasn't my father, I wasn't my family, I wasn't my friends, I wasn't just a student or a worker. There's so much more. And then it becomes really interesting. then I like that. Can you tell? I'll go like,
What?
Yeah. Can you tell I'm excited when I start talking about that?
Yep. If she's getting more excited now, she will propel herself out of the chair and out of the room.
I can tell I'm talking a lot. Sorry.
No problem. You're used to it.
You are not they.
No, I know.
So.
Yeah. But I think that one thing that you have learned very well that most people are not doing at all, and that is to listen to your inner voice. It's so good when you're actually stopping yourself now and then and hear that tiny little voice that are actually trying to tell you something. In your case, it has been your sickness, but for me, it has been, I haven't been that sick, but I have been, let's say, for stupid thing, if you are looking for something, you can look and look and look and you will not find it. You can completely going nuts and you will still not find it. And then you stop your brain for a few seconds, and then you're hearing this tiny little voice that is coming up from the deep side. Look there. Look down there. And you're, but I have almost looked there. It's not there. Look there. Then you open the drawer and, there it is. Yeah. It's always like that. Yeah. So I think that if people, if they start looking and listen to the little tiny voice they have inside on a daily basis, there will be so many problems in life that will be solved or gone or even if it has to, if you are looking for something or if you are trying to find the right partner, or especially if you're trying to find the right partner, if the little tiny voice says something, turn around and walk away. Do it. Even if that person is charming or whatever, or is a billionaire or whatever he is, turn away. So following your little voice, it's so important. And especially when you're getting sick like you were, I think that of course, it's not nice, it's not a good feeling to be sick. But in another way, if you didn't become sick, what kind of a Linda would you actually have been if you did get sick?
I have asked myself that question a million times, probably. And that is another part that's make me realize that the cancer was a gift. I would not be who I am today without the cancer. And that's also why the cancer is not scary to me, because I know it's here to teach me something. And then some people say, well, still, maybe it comes one day where you don't understand what it's teaching you. Maybe you don't know what to do anymore, how to change things. And I'm thinking, well, when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I'm going to have a lot of fun while I'm here. So I'm not counting the years. I don't care about if I become 60 years old or 70 or not. That's not the point. No, the point is the quality. The quality. I say the same thing when I lost my dog. She was only 4 years old, and people said, well, it was too bad she had to die. And I was like, she had a hell of a life while she was here. We had so much fun. I don't think she's worrying about, oh God, I'm just 4 years old. She was sick. She had to go, and that was it. And I feel the same way about me.
Yeah, what's the point to be 100 years old if you're not living in those 100 years?
That's right.
Because most people, they are not actually living. They are thinking about, most people, they are not living in the moment, and the moment is all you actually got. They are living in the past, or they are living in the future. And most people are thinking that, okay, when I'm getting this house, I will be happy. When I'm getting that car, I will be happy. When I'm getting going over to the pension, I will travel the world. But a lot of people, they're actually getting sick, and maybe they can't even walk when they are getting to the pension. So then they are sitting there, and most of their lives has gone, and they have actually not been living. So it's better to live hard.
Play hard.
Play hard.
Let's go. Okay. I have a little technique that I use when I can feel that I'm stressed, when it's too much to do and I can't get away with appointments and everything. It's like 5 times a day I physically stop. No matter what I'm doing, I will stop and just put down whatever I got in my hands, stop running, and I will just stand still, and I will ask myself, how do you feel right now? What's going on right now? It's it feels like I'm running, I'm trying to be there in time, I'm trying to be so efficient in all the appointments and work and friends and whatever you do. And you just stop for a few seconds, and it feels like I'm taking my energy back. It's like pulling back all those, what do you call them? I don't even know the English words, but it feels like you're out there, you're everywhere at the same time.
You're not in yourself.
That's right. And it feels like you're divided into 10 little persons trying to, and then just by stopping for 5 to 10 seconds, asking yourself, how are you doing right now? Because when I do, I will have to admit I'm stressed. I feel all over the place. Does it feel okay? Does it feel good? No, it doesn't. What can you do about it? I can breathe. I can forget about that thing. I can put this down, and I can walk a little bit slower. That's all it takes. And when I do that 5 times a day on those worst days, I go to bed and I can say thank you for another beautiful day, because I kind of stopped in time instead of getting into that habit again of running.
The hamster wheel.
Yeah. Because when you're in that, when everything is going by so fast, the conversation with Linda is the first thing out the door.
Yeah.
And I can't have it that way. I can't live like that.
That's why most people, they don't know themselves. They are lost.
Yeah. And they can't be in a quiet room. They need a movie. They need music. They need something just to be able to relax and just really like your own company. I don't think it's done overnight, but I think most people will benefit from spending that time alone. Because I think Pink, the artist Pink, has in one of her lyrics, the silence screams the truth. And I really like that, because we need a little bit of silence to really hear and feel what's going on in this busy world with all that. We all know this, but it's a difference if you do something about it. Now, when we do know it, do we really use the knowledge that we have and put in little methods or whatever it takes for you to slow down? We need to slow down, everybody.
I think that's why people are putting on the television and the music, because they are afraid of that scream.
Yeah.
Because I think that inner person, a lot of times, trying to put in the brake and say stop, and you are not listening, and you continue not to listening. So sooner or later, you will get sick in one way or another, or you will hit that wall so hard at some time. For myself, I have been a workaholic. Workaholic is that? I think that's the name.
Work and not alcoholic.
Not alcoholic. I'm not drink. Workaholic, and I have been working so hard that I've been really hitting that wall several times because I didn't listen to my inner voice. A few times I could hear that tiny voice trying to say stop. Then I was saying, no, I have to do this
just
first.
A little bit more.
Just a little bit more. Yeah.
No, it's scary. And I think, because I've been asking myself and I've been talking to people about this, and I think that one of the reasons that people don't take the time out to do this is because they don't really trust themselves to find out what it is and what to do about it. That is scary. So when this starts, when you give it time to bob to the surface, then people get scared because they trust the doctor more than they trust themselves. So we wait till the migraine is there and we take a pill and we ask the body to shut up with a pill. And maybe that's the way to go for some people still, but what I'm trying, by talking about this, I'm trying to make people realize that if it's possible, I've read so many books now, people not doing it exactly my way, but it's kind of the same thing. So I think it's doable for anybody.
Yeah. I think that you are getting far away now. You are getting, how to say it, you are on the right track when you are starting to communicate with your inner self and listening to what your inner self is trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Because if you're ignoring the inner self all the time, you will get lost.
Because our body is desperately trying to tell us what's going on.
It is.
It is. And that's exciting. What if we didn't have that? It's an alarm system, and it's a good thing. And also, when I look back at the second time the cancer came back, I was still working this way. And my goal was I moved back to Norway, and my goal was to be able to work again. And I did. I went back to school and I started working it again. I had a lot of fun doing whatever I was doing. Still, the cancer wouldn't leave my body this time, 100%. I never got back to having all my blood tests back to normal. That was a new challenge. And people asked me, they looked at me and they said, "Oh, you look so great. It's so good that you got back to you not being sick anymore." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you." And then they said, "Is the tumor still there?" And I said, yeah, it's there. And they go like this and they go, "Oh my God, you're still sick." And I was like, that's kind of funny the way you look at it, because first you make an observation and you think I look so healthy. But when I tell you the tumor is still here, then you panic and tell me that I'm sick. And I'm thinking, what does it mean to be sick? To me, it is when you hardly can get out of bed and you have a lot of pain all the time and you can't do this. Your life is kind of shrinking into it all comes to the whatever disease you have. Well, I was trying to think that, you know what, if I don't have pain today, I can work, I can dance, I can work out, I can see friends, I can do the things that I feel is valuable to me.
And I think that, of course, you have the tumor in your stomach. But the tumor is just a tiny thing in the stomach. It's not the whole you. No. You don't need to sit there and be, "I'm the tumor,"
no,
because that's what they are saying. Because you have that little thing, the rest of you can't be well.
No, that's right.
All of you have to be sick.
Yeah,
it's like me that I'm not comparing with the cancer, but when I have been working and I almost cut my fingers off, and then I said I started working after 10 minutes again. And they're looking at me as I was crazy, and I said, "You know what? The rest of my body is fine. It's just my little finger." Yes. So it's not the whole you. You can have good days, you can have bad days, and of course, when you're feeling great, the tumor is just a little lump in your body.
And that's also why I didn't go on. I've never been on regular checks at the doctors, even though I have a fabulous doctor. I told him, "You are not going to ask me to come in every 3 months or whatever, because then I will have an okay life for 2 months, and the third month I will be focused on what is the test going to say." I don't want to live like that. I want to be ahead of my disease. Then it's my disease. Then it's you back there. Because I want to be in charge of if I want to be well and healthy, I want to be in charge of that. I want to surround myself with healthy people because they know how to be healthy. If I need a dentist, I want to go to the best dentist. I don't want to go to somebody who wish he was a dentist. I want to be with in situations that always gives me and lifts me up to the level of energy and kind of supports the way I think and the way I feel. If I meet very negative people, don't get me wrong, I get mad too. I get pissed. I get fed up and all that stuff, because that's a part of who we are. But when I surround myself or find myself in a party where there's a lot of negative people or a lot of people that lives from their shoulders up, I mean, this is the only thing that counts, I'm not very comfortable. But then luckily, since I'm creative, I can play little movies inside here, so I can still have fun on the inside, even though the party is not my cup of tea. In the beginning, I had to leave. I had to walk away because I couldn't protect myself from when they start telling me that what I was doing, it didn't work. It was scary. And why did I not pick medicine when it was there? Well, it wasn't. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have that choice anymore. But I do understand when people get sick, if you always lived in a pretty normal family like mine, that you do go for the doctor and the chemo and the surgery. But I guess my thing is that if you feel if you feel that there are more out there, or if you are searching for a different way, or if they do give up on you, the doctors do give up on you, keep searching, keep reading, keep spending time with people that supports you, people that have heard stories like this or somebody else, because there's more and more stories like this out there. Yeah. That is so exciting.
It's better to be with people that can encourage you instead of just talking about your sickness, your illness, and in that level all the time.
Yeah.
Because then I'm getting back to the jar, Motto's jar right. Again.
That's right.
It's the same thing, because all the surroundings around that jar was actually influencing on the stuff that were inside the jar.
Yeah.
And we are like the water jar. So of course, when we are surrounded with these negative people, that affects us.
Yeah,
even if you are trying to blend them out, they will affect us. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to surround ourselves with positive environment and looking ahead, not what has been, or just focusing on the sickness.
Absolutely.
Because I think that the best way to survive is that when you're getting sick, bring forward the inner fighter, the devil who says that, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to win. Oh, yeah. Instead of just lying down and say, okay, I give up.
That's true. And I've talked to so many people, because throughout the almost 27 years that I've been going through this, I've had conversations with people, kind of coaching people in what I do and try to help them, trying to find out where they stand and where they're at and where they want to go, and help them find a way. Not telling them, because this is my way of doing it, but I can share. I can share this, because if there's one person sitting there not knowing what to do, and I share my story, maybe that one person will get their spirit lifted a little bit and start searching and start looking and start talking about it, asking people, have you heard of anybody that came out of cancer without medicine? Because there's so many books out there now, and I really believe in taking time to have fun and live your life and be normal, but also the balance of being serious in what you do, but not dead serious, so it's getting heavy on you. That it's not supposed to be a burden. I mean, I changed my life. I got a completely different lifestyle today than I had 10 years ago and 15 years ago and 20 years ago, because I keep changing things. And I know why I got cancer when I was 26. I know what caused my cancer 4 years later. I know why I get sick again in 2009, because I could tell before they diagnosed it. It's already there, but people kind of feel like, on that day you got diagnosed with cancer. No, it started way before, because you start doing things that triggers the cancer to kind of.
Then I'm getting back to the jar again, because that's the process.
Yeah, it is.
It builds up and builds up and builds up.
Yeah.
So you are getting even cancer, or like the jar rotten.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's a long process.
Thing. Yeah. And I have what I've chosen to do is to move like a million times, because when I get sick, it feels like I need to start all over again. So being in the same environment, with the same people, with the same job, with the same whatever situation I was in when I got sick, it's important for me to kind of get out of it, no matter what. So I moved down south, away from my family and my friends, and left my job. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. It works. It works for me. It really does. Because when you show up in a town, I bought a house almost 4 years ago in a town I've been once before. I ate an ice cream and I left like years back. Then I buy a house in this town. I know nobody. I didn't have a job coming there. I buy this house and I moved. And people say, isn't that scary? And I was like, no, I know who I am. Every step I take, it's like roots under my feet. I feel secure. I feel safe. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. There's some new things for me to learn and I'm going to learn it here, because now I taken away all the things that was habits for me, and because I don't know exactly yet what caused it, so I need to move away from it. So I can start. It's like if you take a plant and it's not doing well over in the corner with that soil, and you kind of shake off the soil and you replant it somewhere else, and you give it water and sunlight, and all of a sudden it starts to
regrow.
Yeah, that's how it feels. It's like I'm starting all over again, and it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels like
it's so nice. I haven't been sick, but I like to move. I'm going to move again. Do you have some final words you'd like
oh my
to say?
God, are we there already?
Yeah, time flies.
No, I guess that I hope people watching this find even either if you're sick yourself, or if you know somebody, encourage them, or encourage yourself to trust yourself. Know that you are a walking library. You got all the books and all the knowledge that you need to be able to fix your disease or your situation, no matter what it is, whatever is your challenge. You already have it all. You're born with it. You need to make space and silence to find it in here, and you need to promise me to get even better to talk to yourself. Have that nice conversation at least once a day with yourself. Put yourself first, no matter what.
I think that's a good idea. So if you will figure out who you are, then you actually have to look inside yourself. No one else can tell you who you are, only you. And then I will say thank you very much, Linda, for joining.
Thanks for having me.
And then I'll just repeat a little bit on my GoFundMe project. Since in the beginning of December, I had this project of trying to help out 85 Tibetan kids in Dharamsala in northern India. I need help to rebuild their house, fixing the roofs, and change the windows and all the kind of stuff they need, because they are living in a not healthy environment. So I guess that they are not looking so much into themselves and the depth of the self, because they are most of the time focusing on surviving. The house is cold, the water is leaking in, and the wind is blowing, and it's not a nice place to stay. And they are kids from 7 to 14 years old. So please go into the homepage from paranormal to normal.com and take a look. There you can see some pictures, and feel free to share if you want, and also help out. Thank you. Thanks for tonight.
Bye.